Hello, everyone. What inspired to hear the kids before us, right? That's wonderful. Give us the strength to continue. And we came to the part, to the moment for the grown-ups. We need to complete the family. So very welcome to the parents study group. We'll have the pleasure to hear from Flavia, Giovanna, and Melissa how it works. And I'm very grateful to be here, to be part of this group, because I have a chance to know more about this group. My center specifically don't have this class yet. And I know some centers that they don't have study group for parents. And the latest they will bring to us the exact information we need to implement this in our center. Because having a parent study group not only help us in our self-improvement, but enhance the family relationship. So it's wonderful, and you need to have this in our centers. So I'm gonna give the words to Flavia. She's gonna start, explain to us. Welcome, Flavia. We cannot hear you. You are mute.
Of course, I would forget that. Hi, everyone. Hi, Teresa. It's so good to be here, to have everyone, to have Teresa. She was such a nice addition to our group because she asked the right questions and made us think a lot. So it is great. And bear with us. I know it's the last group of the last day, but hang on, okay? Well, my name is Flavia, and I work at the Allan Kardec Spiritist Center in Danbury, Connecticut, with Nubia, my good friend Nubia, at the parents group. And now this year we just had another addition, Amaury, who's going to start working with us too. And it is a very great to be working with the parents. It is very important that the parents are engaged too in the education. It's a very big deal. And what is different? What is this study group? Well, it's a study group. We study Jesus' teachings according to Spiritism. We usually focus on family issues, family text, teachings that refer to the family and to different formations of family that we have today. So this is why some people ask, what's the difference between being in a palestra and in a public lecture and being in the study group? Well, the lectures are great, but it's a wonderful opportunity if we can have a separate day. Keep going to the lectures, please. But if we can have a separate day for a specific day to talk about family and learn and ask questions and grow together, that is great. And together with us, like Teresa said, we have, yes, I forgot to say this. And in our center, we have the benefit of having some space. Our center is over 20 years old, so we grew. So we have a room for English-speaking parents, and we have the room for the Portuguese-speaking parents. And we are going to later talk more about the structure or how it is. So we have here with us Giovanna, and she's going to talk a little bit more about how it is in their center there in Bridgeport. Hi, Giovanna.
Hi, Flavia. Good evening, everyone. I'm Giovanna. I'm from the Spiritist Society of Bridgeport in Connecticut, also known as SIR. And I'm one of the educators in our parents group. I just want to say I'm very happy to be here with all of you today. I'm very excited to chat, enjoy some coffee, and share some of our, share a little bit about our parents program with all of you. So Flavia, our parents program actually sounds very similar to your centers. I think the main difference would be that we do our study in Portuguese with simultaneous English translation, which I think it's great because couples can still participate together even if one of them cannot speak or understand Portuguese. Another thing that I would like to add is that we not only learn and study, we also have fun. So we do a lot of fun things together. So we have family days where families get together to work on a project. We also have, we get together for celebrations, and we do charity work. And Flavia, were you here yesterday? Did you see that one of the groups, I don't know if you got to see that one of the groups showed a short video of parents dancing with children?
Yes, I saw that.
Did you see that? Did you see
Yeah.
that, Teresa? So that's our parents group. So we do have fun.
Yeah, that's great. And I also wanted to add that some people ask, is it just for parents? No, it's for everyone that wants to improve themselves, some self-knowledge. We believe that if we learn about ourselves, we are going to be better parents and better people. So it's like we see it as a continuous education for adults. Like you are in a team, the teen group, and then you're 18, you get kicked out of the teen group. And then you go to college and you disappear for a while because that's the normal usually. And then when you come back, you're more than welcome to join us at the adults group. You know, they like that. They feel special. So here with us today, we have Melissa. And Melissa is a participant as a parent in the group. And she, for many, many years, she participated with us in the Portuguese group. Very active participant. And then now she was stolen from us by the new English group. And she is there because it was mainly guys that were in the English group, you know, the husbands. So Melissa was asked to go there to give a little feminine touch to the English group. So we invited her to talk about her experience in both groups. Hi, Melissa.
Hi everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you in this last day of the event in there. And as Flavia have mentioned, I've been with the parents group for almost 10 years since my daughter joined. We joined the center because we moved from Pennsylvania to Connecticut, and it has been like a pleasure, not only as a resource for our family, but as an extended family, right? Because like we rely on each other in there for many reasons. And one of them is education, right? Is the doctrine about like the Spiritism and like how to get closer to Jesus. And and participating in the parents group, it's really important for me because one is a resource, other one is education, and it also to strengthen the connection that I have with my kids, because when we get out of the center, we continue the learnings and the teachings in the cars, right? So like we discuss about like what we learned that day. So they talk to us about like what they've learned, and we tell them like what we learned. So they understand that the education doesn't stop when you stop classes, right? You continue to learn as you grow and as you evolve as a spirit in there. And that is part of what we get from like the parents group in there.
That's so wonderful. Thank you, Melissa. But now we would like to hear from you because there is 111 people now here. So we wanted to know how many of you, like the question it will be, is the parents group, do you have a parents group in your center? Laura, are you ready? We have a little poll and we want to know how many of you have the center in your group. Oh, that's going fast. Look at that. Let's answer, my friends. Do you have an active parent group in your center? Okay. And here we have a big participation, right, Melissa and Giovanna? We have like full rooms.
Yeah.
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 It may take a while, but it goes. It works. People do like to participate. Okay. 63% of you voted. Where is everybody else? Let's see the answers. It's okay if you don't have it. You can say that's why we're here. Right, Teresa?
Exactly.
Okay, I think the results are up. Can you see the results?
Yeah. Is this the final one? Okay. I can see. I don't know if everybody can see it. Well, this.
Yeah, it seems like 58% of people answered that they do have a parents study group in their center. That's great.
Is great. Yeah,
it's great.
I think it's. I'm surprised. It's great. Yes, because there are a lot of challenges, right? It's if you are going to implement something new.
Okay. So I'm just looking. I'm sorry. Someone said that there are only 36%.
No, 36 is the no.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were correct. And then 6% they don't know. It's okay.
I just wanted to highlight one thing, that parents group, like the parent studies group, it's different from like the palestra, right? Like the lecture. It's very different. Like it's very, and we're gonna talk now about like how is it structured and what is the content of it. So if you mistook that by the palestra, maybe let's get some clarification about it.
Okay. All right. Oh, well, we're going to get there. But I would like to start by saying that we are mostly educators here, right? And through all these years of our workshops, I talked to many educators who said they wish they could have the parents group, and it's not easy for a lot of reasons, like we said before. Here in Denver, we are privileged with space and time, and I think at Sarah or Giovanna too. And we understand the many challenges that many centers have. Like we know that some centers, they rent a room once a week and that's all they can use. So there's all different kinds of situations. So what we're gonna talk about, it's our situation, and we're trying to tell you little steps that we can take to implement to do this. But you know, we have to adapt. Like the other groups said, it's not always the same case for everybody. And one of the main things, one of the main challenges that we hear is space to do it and time to do it. A lot of people that we talk to, they have the spirit education for the kids while the parents are listening to the lecture. And that's one arrangement that works for most of us. We actually need some place for the kids while we're listening to the lecture. But it is very different if you can have a separate room, like I said before, for the parents to learn and to engage in a more specific theme, a more specific point of conversation. And then I think it's up to us, it's up to the center, to the coordinators and to the educators to start. The parents are probably not going to get together and protest with signs in front of the center saying, we want groups, we want groups. I don't see that happening. So it's going to have to start from you. If you feel that you need a parents group in your center, talk to your coordinator, talk to the other parents who can do that, who can volunteer, and start. Because we know from many, many books in the doctrine that all we need is the one step. When we start, we get all the help from the spiritual world, and that is gonna start happening. And if there's no one going in the beginning, well, let's remember Chico Xavier, who stayed by himself for 2 years at his center talking to the walls. And then he wanted to quit, and Emmanuel said, no, you're not talking to the walls. There's many, many spirits here. So that's what's going to happen. And then eventually it works. Some educators already told me, we tried, but it didn't work. Well, friends, how hard did you try? How long did you persevere? Well, let's do it, because it is important. And Teresa, I wanted to ask you, so we can continue talking about this. Mm-hmm. What is the main challenge in your center? Why you guys don't have the parents group yet?
Because our biggest challenge is to make people to come to the center in a different day from the
lecture.
Public reunion. Yes, mm-hmm. Public meeting. It's very hard to make them to understand that one day only a week in the center is not enough. We can enjoy more, we can learn more, and you have more opportunities. And the lessons, when they are the same day with the kids, it's like Melissa said, the teachings continue, and we set the example. But the big challenge is to bring them in a different day of the week to the center.
Yeah, and we understand the dynamics of life here in the U.S. is very different from Brazil. In Brazil, there's more relatives, there's family to help you. Usually the centers are whole houses there. And in here, it's sometimes really hard to work. But like we said before, we have to start and then let our guides guide us, right?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the importance of it. Why is it important to have a parents group? And our friend Giovanna is going to start talking about that.
Yeah, sure. So, well, Flavia, we need to teach by example, right? So, if we join a parents study group, we are showing our children that Spiritist education is important, right?
Yeah.
Also, we acquire knowledge that will better ourselves, and as well as to better understand and deal with our family conflicts. So we learn things, for example, like that our children are immortal spirits, and they with unique past experiences that shape who they are, right? So when they are reborn here, they bring a baggage with them, a backpack with their knowledge and challenges. We learn things like we are in the correct families, so there are no mistakes. We are born in the families that we were supposed to be on, and that's an opportunity for us to reconcile with those who we might have hurt in the past. So, and besides the knowledge that we acquire, it's also a place where we parents can support each other. So we feel that we're not alone parenting our children, and which is pretty challenging. So it's a place where you feel you are not alone in just in the mission of being of parenthood.
Yeah, I just saw someone at the chat saying that please be mindful that not always the parents bring the kid to the classes, and we might try to change the name to family group. And I love that idea, and that's something that we can discuss from now on. Thank you for whoever said that. I thought that was great.
It's a great idea, because I'm not a mother, but I'm an aunt, and I want to participate in something like this. And you know, a lot of aunts in our centers, right? And they have the responsibility with kids. It's going to be great. But Giovanna said something that brought to my mind some question. When she said we support the family, the parents, but do they take this as a therapy group or something like a place where they're going to resolve their conflicts?
Well, it happens. And we would like to tell you that this should be really a study group. Just like the kids are having classes about our Spiritist doctrine and Jesus' teachings, so should we. And of course, we get closer and closer together by seeing each other every Sunday morning for years. And eventually somebody is going through something and they are gonna talk about it. And usually people are really good about it. They talk about something to give an example of something that we're discussing. So they say, wow, this happened to me. And that's okay. What we cannot allow, or it's like therapy group, or that problem that the person is discussing to start like therapy. If we see that the person needs more help, even sometimes help that the center cannot provide, like psychologists or counseling, then we say, oh, we can talk about this more later. And we talk them in private, and we see how we can help them in private, so the other ones don't miss. And it's okay to share sometimes, because we all learn from others' experience. But this is not the goal of this group. The goal of this group is to study. Is that clear? Did that answer your question?
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah, because we need to balance, right? To not lose the focus.
Yes, and it's very easy to lose the focus. That's another challenge, because you guys before were talking about the kids, well, believe me, with the adults, it's always kind of hard. You know, we tend to move away from our conversation, and if the coordinators don't pull back, wow. So we have, and it's always good to have, I know this is another challenge, but it's always good to have two people there, two facilitators. So, you know, it's easier to pull it back when there's two people. And for when you're preparing your classes, it's a lot easier if you have a partner to do it than doing it alone.
And based on, I mean, reading here in the chat room, someone is planning to create this class and saying that now we are going to learn from you guys. So Giovanna, could you tell us how this group is structured, and do you have a roadmap for us?
Okay, yes. So at XII, we meet once a week for about an hour and a half. We do meet in parallel with the children and teenagers classes. And so we have a separate room for the, well, I should change it now to family study room, study group, right? So we have a separate room for the family study group, and we also, which is great, right? So we are not with the children in the same space. So we all sit in a circle, and we start doing an initial prayer. And then we usually read a text from a Spiritist book. We are currently studying the Gospel according to Spiritism. Well, that was prior to COVID, right? So, and And I also try, so we usually read a passage from the gospel, and I also try to complement with some other books. I like to use, I usually use this book here. I don't know if you guys can see it. No, right?
No.
Because of my screen.
Put it right, yeah.
I have Heart and Soul. That's one of the books that I use and I like. Another one is, okay, let me see if I can get this right. Our Daily Bread. And I want to mention that I got this is a new book. I got it from a very good friend of mine. I don't know if you guys can see it. No, right? It's called Jesus in the Home. So, what we do then, we read the passage, we talk about it, we reflect on the topic, and people, everybody is encouraged to participate. They can make comments. They can ask questions. So we try to make it interactive so that everybody is engaged and wants to participate. And then we summarize, we kind of discuss a little bit and try to summarize and to the main ideas that we learned that day. We we do a final prayer, and we followed by passes. Then at the end, we all get together in a bigger room with the children and all the educators. And then when we are together, we each group, each class that day. And something that I would like to also say is that we read passages and do the discussions based on the book that we are studying, but you can also use different resources, different ways to prepare your lesson. You could do slides presentation, or you could invite a guest lecturer to talk about something related to families. So you can be creative. I would like to share one activity that we did that was very, very special actually. So we talked about, so on that day, so we had this day that I believe the theme was on forgiveness. And after we finished the parents study group, we all got together with the families, and we invited the parents to sit next to their child. So we were all in a big circle, and we invited the parents to look at their child's eyes and tell out aloud. We actually had a mic, so we passed the microphone along, and the parents were invited to say something that they were very proud of their child. They were also invited to say that, to thank their child for being part of their family, and say how important their child were for them. And if they felt comfortable, they could also say, please forgive me if I hurt you in the past. And I'll tell you something, this activity was very beautiful, was very powerful. It really touched everybody's heart. Many people cried, and including teenagers. So it felt very healing for everybody. So I just wanted to share this activity because I think we should be creative.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very nice. I'm going to talk to you again about that.
Okay.
To get the details. For us here at Danbury, I think the main difference from Sir, we're very similar to Sir. Oh my God. I think the main difference is that we have separate rooms for English and Portuguese. And that's new. That's something that started, I think, over a year ago. And yeah, we have like, oh my God, all your groups share all these amazing tools, but we, right, Giovanna, we are more mature people doing a class for more mature people. So we use these great old tools. They're books, right? It never fails. We don't need Wi-Fi. It always works. So I'm going to show you a couple here that we also use. And don't worry about writing down, because as Ligia said, we have a document that's going to be available, and there is a whole list for you. These are just some. Constelação Familiar. This one is translated to English, okay? So you can get in Portuguese and English. Can you see it?
You need to bring a little bit higher.
Higher? And daí eu tenho que ficar com a cara na frente, né? Assim.
Yeah.
Adolescência e Vida. Esse aqui é do Divaldo, Joana. Ah, tem uma moça que eu acho que está aí, que escreveu esse livro lindo aqui, Educar os Filhos, Compromisso Inadiável. Lúcia Moisés, querida, livro maravilhoso.
English.
As, oh my God, I got switched and I didn't know that, sorry. I think I saw the books in Portuguese and I switched. Okay, we use this one a lot, SOS Família, Joana de Angelis, and Another Spirit with Divaldo. I used a lot of this one this year from Raul Teixeira. And there's so many more. We have a list, okay? And we also have websites. Some federations in Brazil have great resources. The Minas Gerais one, the Paraná Federation has a lot of resources, and it's all listed on the document. So there is a lot of things, and we also try to do fun things because we are adults, but we like sometimes to do something fun things, and sometimes an activity makes you stop and think in a different way. Like I loved once that Nubia bought a treasure box, and we would pass it around, and we had to look inside to see what treasure was inside, but we couldn't tell our neighbors, and there was a mirror inside. So the treasure was ourselves, and we had the whole conversation about that. So like Giovanna said, we can do lots of different fun stuff, but always based on the doctrine. Always we have a text from one of these books as a base, so we don't get away from what's important, which is, Allan Kardec and Jesus, right?
For sure. We are adults, but we still like something fun, right?
Yeah.
I love Kahoot.
We are
Kahoot
kids that
with
pay
I'll be
taxes.
happy.
Yeah.
Since your time is very close to the end, I'm going to ask you, Giovanna, Melissa, and Flavia, your last words for our presentation, please. We can start with Giovanna.
Okay, so well, my message is for those centers that already have a parents study group, please continue with this beautiful work of spreading Jesus' teachings. When we join a parents study group, we all benefit from it. Educators, parents, families, their children, everybody really benefits from it. We are together with a purpose, and it is a beautiful purpose. We are trying to keep the family together, cultivate harmony at home. We are trying to raise children that will succeed in what they planned before reincarnating here. And so, and for those centers that still don't have this program, please consider starting it, so that more families can benefit from it. And if you need help, we are here, right? We are here to help you.
Very good. Melissa, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I just wanna say thank you first for being part of the family group, and to let you know that a family group, it's more than just like the education for the spirit in there. Think of that also as an entry level for those that are entry level spiritist lesson for those that are not a spiritist. Like I'll just give you an example. That was the entry door for my parents in the spiritism. They're not a spiritist, and they joined the center through the family group, because my father told me that when he started like going through to the lectures in there, the content was like a little bit, off for him. So he was not completely internalizing. But when he joined the family group, the examples and the connection was there, because he was feeling the topics were very relatable. So he felt that he was part of it. He could contribute intellectually to the discussion. So he felt very engaged and involved. And that was the hook that I needed to bring them every Sunday to our center and participate in the activities. And and Flavia is a witness, like, because they actively participate. They don't just sit there and yawn, right? Like they actively participate and they give examples, and it's fun, and it's sometimes a little bit awkward because I am their child, and my sister also participates, and sometimes some of the examples are very close to the heart. And you're like, you pay taxes, but you're still their kid. So it's fun. It's just fun. So thank you very much for the opportunity to bring them to the center through like a family study group.
Before I give the last words to Flav, I want to thank you all for these days, the learning, these teachings. It's made me more happy for being part of this family of educators. And I think we already saw the results of this event, because it's not parents group, it's become a family group. It's already a result, the change in the contribution of the event for this program. So Flavia.
What I have to say is, if it's possible, do it. If it's really hard, still do it, because it's worth it. It's one day of the week when everybody in the family is doing the same thing. It's a big connection. It's bigger than when we are there on a Thursday for us on the lecture. And we know that, like, if you volunteer to be an educator, there is a whole spiritual world. Your mentors, they are gonna remove stones from your path so you can get there and do the work. They are, oh, but my life is so complicated now. Well, there's another reason why you should do it, because you are gonna be helped. Because our spiritual friends, they want the work to happen. So it is very nice, very rewarding. As Melissa said, when you see those shy parents that were before just dropping off their kids, they start to open up, and you see the connection between their kids. It's very, very nice. So don't give up. You're being helped. We are here to help. Our emails, it's also listed on that document that you're going to have access through the Federation website. If your answers are not there, contact us. We are more than happy to help. We have people in our center, because this study has been going on for a long time. So we have more people who have even more experience. And of course, maybe some questions are not going to be answered, but we can work on them together and see, each situation, what we can do about that. And I'd like to finish. There is this book that I really love, Evangelização no Mais Além. Sorry, I don't think there is an English translation for that yet. volunteers needed for that. It's from Lúcia de Abreu, the Spirit, and the medium is Janaína Farias. And it's wonderful because it tells us all the backstage of the evangelization, the Spirit's education. And there is a very nice paragraph that I'd like to read it to you. I translated, okay, the way I could. So if you're gonna read it, I did the best I could. So, Spiritist education is our Lord Jesus Christ coming toward us. Spiritist education saves. There will come a time when educators, coordinators, cooperators, all of us will be conscious of the real meaning of this task. And we'll do it with complete sense of service. If well done, its efficiency will be such that it will no longer be necessary to indoctrinate, since the spirits won't suffer anymore, because they will be vaccinated. They will be educated in Jesus' teachings. Thank you so much, everyone.